Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for Fenix360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the musical artist and producer, GrooveGalore Muzik. Hey, what's up, Groove? How are you, man?
Yes, sir. Respect, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Respect indeed, man. It's great to see you. And listen, Groove, I'm looking forward to sharing some of our music with our audience. So if it's cool with you, okay if we tune into your track with Big Mountain, If I Only Knew?
Yes, definitely. Big Mountain, GrooveGalore Muzik, Big Mountain, and Honorable, who is a rapper,
And
Jamaican rapper
honorable as well.
out
Excellent.
right. So yeah, that's the brand new stuff that's out. And yeah, can't wait for you to go for it, man.
Indeed. All right, everyone. Let's tune in now to GrooveGalore Muzik with Big Mountain and Honorable and If I Only Knew.
Please come the band called Big Mountain alongside GrooveGalore Muzik. Honorable, Monorable, Kickstand, Crank.
I'm gonna burn in the morning sun. Wait until evening coming out. Ain't gonna leave until you tell me what I've done. I remember when we used to walk hand in hand. You were so close to me. And now all of my dreams have gone away, and loneliness came yesterday, and my heart is filled with pain and love for you. What did I do? Why are we through? If only I knew, Lord, if only I knew. I'm gonna burn in the morning sun. Wait until evening coming out. Ain't gonna leave until you tell me what I've done. I can't stand the pain. I'm feeling like I'm not your man. I'm confused, yes I am. 'Cause now you've been gone and gone too long, and it wouldn't cross my mind to do you wrong. If cheating was a house, then I would live outside. But what did I do? And why are we through? If only I knew, Lord, if only I knew. Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Groove, blessed love, man. It's so great to share your music and that vibe with your family
Yes,
there.
sir.
Man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, listen, I'm interested in
Every
learning
time.
about you now in terms of, where'd you grow up and how'd you first become a musical artist?
I'm from Montego Bay, Jamaica. I grew up, born here, born and bred. Montego Bay, right here. Went to school 5 minutes, pretty much 5 minutes down the road.
Uh-huh.
All my schooling is pretty much within the vicinity of, say, a 7 minute drive.
Wow.
And, I was always really drawn to music from growing up with my mom. And, she used to have a shop in the hotel industry, in the hotels. And we
Uh-huh.
used to have a record shop. We used to have a record shop in her store, and I used to be selling records. So I really was tuned into music early out, like from just as far back as I can remember. I always tune into radio. And, once I started high school, I got into instrumentation, and the drums is just something that always drew me in when I watched bands. I was always more focused in on the drummer, and I guess that was my calling. I started pursuing that in high school, and I've done nothing else since.
How about it, Groove? It's, I mean, you're blessed in that you knew that was your calling. That was what you, in essence, you were chosen in a way, in terms of that magnetism of the drums. And it's such a powerful aspect of really the center around the rhythms that you create. So let me ask this question then now, as you were growing up, even from that, teenager who really started to, that voracious appetite for music. Were there other island artists or other artists around the world that inspired you that you're a fan of?
Oh, big time. You know, growing up in Jamaica, I always tell people in our interviews, we had two radio stations only. We had two radio stations, the JBC, the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation, and RGR Radio Jamaica. And we had one television station for the whole country, one. Black and white TV, no color. So whatever we got off of radio, and whatever we got off of our broadcast, whatever we got from America, we got from watching Solid Gold. So we knew what was going on the charts in America from watching Solid Gold.
Got it.
And then whatever we heard on radio that the disc jockeys would play, that was American songs. So, you know, in the early 80s and starting to go to high school, I remember hearing like Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart. And I started to hear that song every morning. And I used to hear Chicago, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, songs like that being played, and you really don't know who these bands are. But when color TV came in and we got color TV, you know, my uncle went to the States for a trip, his first trip to New York, and MTV had just started that same year. And my uncle came back and he brought a VHS tape that had the American MTV Top 40 video countdown.
Nice.
And I remember seeing Van Halen jump.
Yes.
And I'd known who Van Halen was because I'd heard, I used to buy a lot of Rockline and Hit Parade magazines. So I knew who all the rock bands were, but never saw them. There was no way to see them.
Yes.
And when I put in the videotape, and I remember the first heavy metal song, and it was Quiet Riot, Bang Your Head.
Yeah.
And that was like, wow, cool. But the next video was Van Halen, Jump.
Yes.
And I swear to God, something inside me just shifted the foundation under my feet. Everything in my being was just floating. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, man.
And I just remember seeing Alex Van Halen playing that big, massive drum set with the 4 bass drums, and Eddie Van Halen. And, you know, remember, I was only seeing these guys in all the magazines that I bought. So I would have to buy every issue, and I would tear the posters out, paste them in my bedroom.
Yeah.
After a while, you couldn't see the color of the walls in my room anymore.
I hear that.
I just remember seeing Van Halen jump, and I was just flabbergasted. And then I saw Journey, Separate Ways, Holland Oates. I started to see videos of all these bands, and it just messed me up. And there was something inside me that knew that that's something that I wanted to be involved with or fuse with reggae at some point in the future. I didn't know. I was 13.
Right.
I was 14. I wasn't even playing drum set yet. So what I'm saying is, this is 82. I started playing right at the end of 82, going in 83 in an orchestra. And it wasn't a drum set. I was reading, playing a bass drum and marching drums. We weren't playing secular music. We were doing big orchestral arrangements of classic songs like Rocky. I remember we did Rocky, ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta. That was like one of the big songs that we played in concert. And we would do orchestral arrangement of Jamaican folklore songs like Yellow Bird, Jamaica Farewell. We would do Hawaii Five-O, stuff like that. And then within the orchestra, a few of us decided to form a reggae band. And we started to we had no electric instruments. We had a grand piano. The band got a drum set because we were kind of like adopted. Our music program was adopted by some professors out of Chicago. So
Mm.
they were bringing down equipment from the US and they were sending professors to formulate our music curriculum in our high school. So that's how we got professors, Miss Judith
Right.
Grimes, Don Daly, all these professors that tutored us from 1982 till 84 when I left, and the other students subsequently that it was in the program. And most of those guys are all top musicians now
Yeah.
that came out. And to this day, our professors, they come to our concerts. We go to Chicago, we go to Milwaukee. Mrs. Grimes is there. She's in her 70s now. She's still agile and they just love us and we love them. And we appreciate everything they brought to the table in teaching us music and teaching us to read and just everything. That's how
Right.
we spiral. It spiraled. It spiraled out of control because once we started to play reggae, then I started to learn what's going on the radio. Reggae wise, the Jamaican artists, the Dennis Browns, the Peter Tosh, the Bob Marleys. We
Yeah.
start to play secular music now. And that just took a whole different direction. And then I knew that this was what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Oh man, that's beautiful to hear that story. And there's so much that resonates with me, Groove, because I got to tell you what, we came through at the same time. And I grew up in the Pasadena area, which is where Van Halen was from. Okay. And before they were Van
Yeah.
Halen, they were Mammoth, which is a
Yes,
small band.
and
They played
that's
it like they played at the
that's what
Pasadena High School, like
that's
proms and at Pasadena Civic
that's
Center. Yeah.
that's what his son's band is now called.
Yes, right.
His son's
Exactly.
band is
Wolfgang.
called
Yeah.
Wolf WVH Mammoth. I just saw them in concert earlier this year
How about it, man?
in Detroit, and it was outrageous.
Of course.
That kid is so talented. He's on another level.
That's right. It's
Seriously.
amazing. Well, think about, what I mean, what he inherited in terms of, that DNA, so at any rate, but to his own cred, and also for all musicians, there are callings, but then it's the dedication and it's the practice and it's the long, just the pursuit. And so there's so much discipline that goes into actually becoming a proficient artist in that craft. But with bands like Van Halen and others that were celebrated on MTV in those early days, and MTV and, once Viacom buys it and like it becomes more, they create other programming. It's not so music central anymore, even though it's called MTV, right?
I say it every day. I cannot now go on MTV and see a video anymore. All I'm seeing is game shows. It kills me. It kills me. I'm like, gee, what do I do to see any music? And now they have all these different substations. So I literally have to go to MTV Classic to see what
actually
I
music
used to see.
videos.
It's just
It's crazy. But at any rate, man, I will tell you this, I'm glad that we had that in common in terms of being inspired by a lot of that content. And, I grew up with 3 channels, not one. And, I understand that progression of how things have changed now into the digital world. So let me ask this question then.
Yeah.
What's your current focus? What are you working on right now?
Oh my God. I've been working on a deep, dark secret that a lot of people, nobody knows, only a handful of my true inner circle. And it's so funny. I just relinquished to Firewire just 2 months ago. Finally, what I was working on and let him be privy to what I'm working on. No, I've always had this affinity for the heavy metal hard rock stuff. And it always, I've always wanted to do this kind of fusion of what certain songs that I've loved over the years, White Snake and Here I Go Again. And I just couldn't get anybody to really bite the bullet. Like everybody's busy doing their own thing.
Yeah, man.
And I was in Detroit, spending a lot of time in Detroit, working with some friends over there. And I just decided to do a scratch vocal on Is This Love? You know, because I used to sing and play in the hotels. I used to play the drums and sing, do the Phil Collins thing. You know, I always call it the Phil Collins thing. And he's one of my biggest idols, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to do the scratch vocals. And when my friends came home that day, they heard it and they were like, why are you trying to have other people sing this stuff again? I'm like, well, I want name artists to do it. They were like, you're joking. You should sing it.
Yeah.
You should sing. And then a couple of days later, I tried Here I Go Again. And they came back. They went out for the day and they came back. And I let them hear what I did. And they were like, you're kidding me. You need to sing these songs. And it started out with just being like maybe 4 or 5 songs. But what happened when the pandemic hit in 2020? Because remember, in between all of this, from 2017, I'm touring and I'm going out with Big Mountain, I'm going out with Maxi, and I'm doing stuff with Diana King, who I play for also. So it wasn't like I started this project and it's taking so long. No, it's when I have downtime and depending on where I am and the musicians that I have access to. So it really was supposed to be maybe like a 5-song EP. But when the pandemic came and we couldn't go nowhere and the whole music business shut down, I was doing some work in Detroit and I decided to go back there where I have access to a studio. And the 5-song project now has spiraled into 13 songs.
Nice. Like
so I got U2, one, I got Poison, Every Rose Have Its Thorn, I got Foreigner, I Don't Want to Live Without You. I got 2 Red Hot Chili Peppers song. I got their big song, Under the Bridge. Yeah. They're all done in Jamaican dancehall, reggae, rock. My vibe, like a hybrid of what they were. They're totally just tuned up for 2023.
Nice, man. Well, that's the essence of GrooveGalore Muzik, is these integrations and also these inspirations, of artists of all kinds of different genres. But, certainly that rock vibe that basically, that initially moved you, you've been able to link into these themes, brother. And that is profound.
And my production partner who works on it, and that's the difference also. What I have to mention this is that whereas there's a lot of covers that are done out of the Caribbean, and Jamaica has been at the forefront of doing covers of American or British songs over the years. From the dawn of time, Jamaica, that was a mainstay in our music, was our idea of doing over old classic R&B songs.
An adaptation, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what I've done with this is I've not watered it down and kept it more. I've kept it really guitar heavy.
Yeah.
So you're not missing the guitar because it's reggae, and normally reggae is just a check. No.
Yeah.
That's there, but I've kept my production partner on the project is Rudy Valentino. And him and I had produced Tessa and Chin, who is the girl in Jamaica that won The Voice 2013.
Right.
And we produced her album, her first solo album, and it was all rock reggae. Mm-hmm. Heavy on the guitars, not maximum keyboards, but minimal keyboards, but maximum guitar. So this project, the difference between this, I would say, and other typical cover songs that you would hear done, it's not keyboard heavy. It's more that you're getting the real rock centric, like you would still be listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers and Poison, but it's just the beat and the bass and everything now is more from a Jamaican point of view.
Well, that you take that powerful, raw kind of, explosive music, and then you bring in an elegant quality of a reggae rhythm that is really beautiful and unique. And so we're going to be looking forward to everything that you've got coming up new. How about on the social media platforms? How do you promote yourself, Groove? How can people discover you?
Well, the typical Instagram, I'm GrooveGalore Muzik on Instagram. Same thing, Facebook, GrooveGalore Muzik. I got a website, groovegalore.com. That's mine.
Beautiful.
And I'm on the all the thing, but I'm also signing up now to join this hot new platform that I've been introduced to, which you're gonna tell them more about it.
That's
Because
right.
I'm excited. Just looking on the app on my phone is just kind of like, wow, this is a whole heap to unpack here, you know?
Yeah,
So
man. Well, listen, that's
yeah,
what I hope is that what, it's kind of like when you first put in that tape, it's the same kind of thing, or it's explosion of talent and amazing art that's available on the Phoenix 360 app. And we're really blessed to have you there, Groove. And so I
Phoenix
want
360.
Phoenix
Yeah.
360, Matt. So I'm looking forward to your rise on Phoenix 360. I'm also looking forward to all the new collaborations and unique ways in which you adapt these songs to have
Yeah.
even a new life to them. So we're going to follow your progress, bro. I want everyone to turn in to the social media links you see posted below our interview today and look for GrooveGalore Muzik rising on Phoenix
Yes, sir.
360. Brother,
Yeah,
thank you
man.
so much for the education to share
Respect.
the memories for
I know.
myself as well, man.
I know. I know you're
Cannot wait.
hearing that this guy in Jamaica, down there in Jamaica on the rock, is talking about Van Halen. I know to a lot of people it may sound weird, but you know, when you're a child when you're a child in Jamaica, and especially in Montego Bay. Remember now, Montego Bay is different from Kingston. Kingston is the big city. There's a lot more going on. The whole vibration of the country is based around Kingston and the music. But Montego Bay is more a hotel, North Coast. And back in 1979 and 80, listen, dude, we only had a merry-go-round. One
Right.
merry-go-round.
Yeah.
One. And we have the beach, and that's it. As a child in Montego Bay, you have two things that you do on the weekends. You go to the merry-go-round on Saturday and Sunday, you go to the beach, or you go to the public library. That's it. It's over. There's nothing else. So being able to get a VCR tape and now start watching it was just a whole new vibration. And I'll be talking to you more because I'm gonna need some insight and some help with the 360 app because it's so wide. I'm not familiar with all the aspects. So I'll be reaching out to you because I really like what I'm seeing. I love it. And I'm going to bring it to all my friends in both my bands, Big Mountain and Maxi Priest, guys. I'm going to turn them all onto it.
Excellent, bro. Here we go again, man. All right. Thank you, bro. Everyone tune in to GrooveGalore Muzik and look for his rise on Phoenix 360. Blessings, brother.
Yes, sir. Big up.
All right.
Yes.
Big up to you
Yeah,
too. Take care, man.